All right, welcome to my FX Buddies, the podcast. And I say podcast because there are other mediums in which you can watch or hear this information. But the best place to go is the blog because my fxbuddies.blogspot.com has everything. It has the full, complete articles with the links to the articles and the video all in one place. All right, so the other places, Spotify.com, you can go there. They have audio and video depending on your subscription level. Rumble.com, I have new subscribers there. Hi, Rumblers. Um, RSS.com has a transcript that's really good. And what else? The Amazon podcast, Apple podcast, everywhere that I post under my FX Buddies. All right. Wherever you are, because my fxbuddies.blogspot.com is too long to remember. Wherever you're watching this, look for a more info, intro, description, open, something of that nature. If you click on that, another box opens that has a link directly to the blog. And if you're new here, welcome. The blog is free. You don't even have to put your email in. You just go there and you click that link and you go to the blog. All right, so this is my second post for the day. This is the full, a full presentation. And look, everything is not even here. Today, May 6, 2025, was a great day for Iraqi news. Plus, there's a lot going on in the world. And then, apparently, we have been put on notice for some supercalifragilisticexpialidocious announcement, right? That's going to be made. That's my phone. Sometime. So, if I have time, I'll tell you what I'm thinking that announcement's going to be. No one actually, some people have asked me. But yeah, so, all right, so let's get into it. So there were two articles, three, actually, three. But I wanted to go with this one because this is interesting. I've never seen a meeting at the UN about a country's banking sector. Have you? But mind you, I've never followed another country anything like this before. Okay? But the UN, United Nations, had 18 countries met with the Iraqi banking sector to discuss banking relations at the headquarters of the Association of Private Banks. So they went to Iraq. Here, I'll make this, can't get too big or it'll get blurry. Oh, actually, that's pretty clear, right? So yeah, so there they all are. What in the world is going on, right? So it says under the auspices of the UNAMI, the Iraqi Private Banks Association organized a meeting that included Arab and foreign ambassadors, representatives of international organizations operating in Iraq, and Iraqi banks, with the attendance of the Central Bank of Iraq. So everybody they need is there. You can't tell me there's nobody from the IMF there and the World Bank. Oh, there it is. The World Bank. So here's the nations. They've listed the nations there if you care to read it. So this is one of those articles you may want to go read, right? Because for time's sake, I can only cover what I can cover. And the rest, you may want to go see. This is happening right before it. Look what they're calling the Arab Summit, the Arab Wedding. Now, I don't know, again, this will be my first Arab Summit covering. I don't know that they call them all Arab wedding. I don't believe they do, though. Yeah, so no country's economy can thrive without a strong banking sector. That's one of the statements they made. So Wadi Handal, he's the chairman of the Iraqi Private Banks Association. He explained the meeting comes at a crucial moment in Iraq's financial and economic transformation. It aims to strengthen the banking sector's relations with international and diplomatic partners, creating an integrated, there's that word, integrated, integration, integrated, whatever tense they want to use, I like it. Integrated banking environment based on transparency and compliance with international standards capable of supporting sustainable development, stimulating investment, and serving those underserved by banking services. Okay, so there's more. I'm going to skip that paragraph. Yeah, and go, they're there to support the reform process. And also they got to throw in human rights. But he explained that Iraqi Bank looks forward to direct dialogue with your country's banks. We're reaching out. Reach out and touch. Reach out and connect, right? Oh, I really like this article. But yeah, so they under the auspices of the UN, I don't like that because this is actually the beginning of the one world. Oh, my buddy's gonna put the comment that he puts, but this is it. This is the beginning of the one world money system. Hate to admit it, but it is. But anyway, so yeah, under the United Nations to open new partnerships that serve the Iraqi and your economies. This can be achieved by expanding correspondent accounts, financing development projects, promoting digital transformation, issuing green bonds that's sustainable, right? Uh, and attracting promising investments to deepen sustainable stability. All right, and then there's one last paragraph there with some numbers, but I don't ever believe the numbers they post there. All right, and this article is good also. This one made me mad though. I felt that I was trolled. The National Bank of Iraq, a leadership based on governance and transparency. All right, so this one really has very good, all the superlative things. They even mentioned the award they've won. Okay, so, but I'm only going to focus on 3 parts of it, I think. Anyway, so listen. The National Bank of Iraq affirmed on Tuesday its commitment to the principles of governance and transparency as a fundamental rule governing its financial transactions, adhering to strict standards. It identified what it described as the most valuable currency. And it's even in, if you're not reading along with me, it's even in quotation marks. The most valuable currency in this vital sector, while pledging to consistently comply with legal and regulatory requirements and international standards. So I'm like, yes, they're going to say the Iraqi dinar is the most valuable currency. No. He goes on to say, I should have made it blue also, but you can see right there, I just tapped it 3 times. Over the years of its operation in the Iraqi market, the National Bank of Iraq has proven that it is not just a financial institution, but a strategic partner for its clients and a loyal guardian of their savings and financial future. He expressed his belief that trust is the most valuable currency in this vital sector. Now, And I mean, honestly, how can you be mad at that, right? But that's what they're talking about, trust. And you know how I'm always saying they should put trust, they should be trying to get the citizens' confidence back over all these other things that they push. And lo and behold, here's an article where they're putting trust as the most important thing. All right, so then there's more. And then here, he explained this commitment is clearly demonstrated by the bank's ongoing efforts to ensure that financial operations are managed in accordance with international best practices. And if you watch the short video that I did, the breaking news video that I did this morning, I referenced this. See this ISO 9001:2015? I don't know that all the banks are compliant with that, but this one is, and they're bragging about it. So it sets strict standards to ensure transparency and accountability in all its transactions. So if you want to look that up, I did, but for time's sake, right? I can't really tell you, but it's good, right? Trustworthy, all that stuff. So the most importantly, it has strengthened the bank's ability to comply with legal and regulatory requirements and opened up broader horizons for cooperation and partnership with global financial institutions, benefiting from international recognition of its quality and reliability. Now, this is just one bank. This is the National Bank of Iraq. See, they won an award here from Citibank. This clearly reflects its proficiency in implementing precise and organized procedures that ensure full compliance with international standards in the execution of financial transactions. And there's more, but guess what? We're going to skip that. All right, the next article. Minister Sammy, she's been busy. The finance minister, she met with a French development agency and signed 2 agreements in the field of infrastructure. So if you want to read that, you can. There's some money there, 30 million euros, 110 million euros. It's a wastewater treatment thing. Yep, so you can read that if you like. Here is Baghdad has submitted a new request for an exemption from importing Iranian gas, and Washington is studying it. So then also, there's another article saying, you know what, we're still getting gas from them. I know they said we couldn't, but we are. But who knows if it's true or not, because Iran can say whatever they want, right? But I'll bet you they are. Okay, so here, this is all the same article. If you want to read it, you can. I think it says the U.S. side promised to consider this request. Decisions on such issues are usually made at a high level, not just at the U.S. Treasury level. Isn't the U.S. Treasury high? I thought it was, but apparently not, right? So yeah, so they're going to look at it, and at least it wasn't just a flat out no, right? They're saying they'll consider it. Iraq is in the grip of an oil storm and the budget is on the verge of collapse. Who wrote this? This is, well, okay. You know how I'm always telling you, you have to look at the articles from the standpoint of where they are right now. So this is clearly being written. Oil is down to $60. It does dip down below $60, right? The citizens are nervous. The government is nervous. They don't know if our president's gonna extend Executive Order 13303, right? So there's a lot of uncertainty. So I'm not gonna say this article's out of line, but clearly this person is writing it not believing the rate's going to change and things are going to get better, right? All right, and it's pretty long too. Okay, here, Mohammed Saleh again, given the okay to come out and say something. Saleh ends the controversy. The 2025 budget will remain close to 156 trillion dinars with domestic borrowing. So he announced the 2025 budget will remain close to, right, exactly what they just said. They're not changing the price. You see that? So, yeah, I'm not really sure why he came out and said that, except Saleh praised the accelerating success in the field of fiscal and monetary policy, explaining that the government seeks to achieve economic stability in both its financial and monetary aspects. So if they're seeking to achieve something, that means they don't have it, right? But whatever. All right, here's my one commercial. Buy me a coffee. Thank you for those of you who support. It really helps. All right, very important. This is about Sudani's trip. He's going to head out to Turkey, I think next week. Let's see. So, and there are issues there. There's this group here that Turkey does not like, and they take action against. All right. So they'll talk about that. And then also, it does say they'll cover economic ties, particularly the $17 billion development road project. So they're very excited about this. In fact, they sent a team of people ahead. Yeah, here. On Monday, the Iraqi embassy, if you're reading along with me, that's where I am. That's my phone. On Monday, the Iraqi embassy in Ankara announced the arrival of a government delegation to prepare for this week's visit. Oh, so it is this week. All right. Now, the countdown to the Baghdad Summit has begun. Will Trump's... well, I said it anyway. Will our president's attendance disrupt Arab leaders? Well, we'll have to see. Because our president's visit to the to the Gulf region is, okay. Sorry about that. That was important. I needed to address that. It overlaps the Arab Summit. So they're wondering, is he going to crash the party? I doubt it though. So, but we'll see. We shall see what we shall see. And there's still enough time. This article is pretty long. It also goes into the Syrian president. He may not go. I'm thinking he's not going to go. He wants protection. He wants protection from us. If he's going to go. So, we'll see. And also, there seems to be a rift between Maliki and the other members of the framework. But remember, they had that meeting maybe 2 weeks ago, and they said, well, we don't know what's really going to happen, so we should split up. Remember that? See, I remember stuff like that because they were conniving and what's that word? Conspirating? Conspiring. There we go. Conspiring because they don't want Sadani back in. But, and even like social media, they were making fun because they had images of them sitting at the table laughing. They had a meeting at a body's house, if you know who that is. And they were laughing and joking in the pictures, right? So the citizens were putting, look, they don't even miss Maliki. They're laughing and having a good time without him and all this stuff. It was funny. So yeah, that is really long, isn't it? Look at that. Okay, so I believe yesterday, this morning, maybe this morning, I talked about, let's see, the H people in the country they live in, and a city or port was demolished by Ice Cream Land. And then immediately after they did that, they said, oh, we're done. Our mission there is done. So that happened. Then later, our president announced that the H people are surrendering. And I even said 2 hours from now, they could come out and say, no, we didn't say we're surrendering. And that did happen. But look at this. The Sultanate of Oman announces reaching an agreement to stop the naval war in Yemen. So these are the mediators between Tehran and us, right? The UN, those talks are the Omanis. They are the mediators. And there's a headline of an article saying the U.S. is pleased to welcome the Omanis to mediate a ceasefire agreement. And here it is. They said they did it. The Omanis are announcing it. So if you don't want to believe our president, who's saying in confidence, the H people told me they didn't want to fight anymore. He also, our president, announced, okay, we're not going to send kablooies over to them anymore. Ice Cream Land does not like that. So, let me see. Do I have that article here? Yes. Okay. So, I'm going to leave that there and we'll follow. We'll get back to that. Now, the H people have had the Red Sea blocked for more than a year, maybe a year and a half, totally disrupting commercial shipments. It even says here, a vital area for global trade. This, I believe, this is the big announcement. If they actually stick to it, if more than just a ceasefire, they leave the Red Sea and leave the ships alone and let the path of commercial vessels go through like they were before, that would be a big deal. Because right now, what are those ships doing? They're taking 10 to 14 days to go around. It's either called the Cape, the Cape of Good Hope. There it is. See? They had been forced to reroute around that. And it added time. So guess what? You know how there's shipments are stopped right now because of the tariffs? If they open back up this Red Sea, and if we're able to come to an agreement with China, which there's a lot of people who say that they're about to come to an agreement, then they can go through that Red Sea a lot faster and make up that lost time, right? So if the H people are truly going to surrender, that would be a big, huge announcement. And that may be what it is. I could be wrong, right? It could also be the end of the R and U aggression conflict. But I don't think so, because why would he announce that prior to going to the Gulf region, right? Okay, but anyway, we'll see. We shall see what we shall see. So now, Ice Cream Land. This is a different article. Ice Cream Land has decided to fully occupy the four-letter country that starts with a G and ends with an A militarily after our president backed down from striking the H people. So see, they're not trying to make peace. And it hurts me. Oh, it hurts me because I am, my favorite book directs me to pray for the peace of Ice Cream Land. And I don't know, whatever. Anyway, but yes, so that happened. And I think they already have ground people there because they were showing footage, but it could be old footage. Now, this one came from Telegram, so I can't post it. Don't even get me started on trying to get stuff out of Telegram. I'll be there for 5 days. But anyway, here's a member of the political council of, this is that Ansar al, that group there. That's the H people. Our firm position is that stopping the targeting of American ships does not include stopping support for the four-letter country that starts with a G and ends with an A. So that led me to believe, when I read that led me to believe the announcement that our president made. And then the Omani articles started coming out too. So a good day if this ceasefire holds true. But anyway, and then we get this. I think this is the last article. Yes, this is the last article. After failing to hold sessions, Parliament announces the end of its legislative session. And this is the House Speaker who filled in for a few months, and people believe he actually sabotaged the Parliament because he's friends with Halabusi, and Halabusi was the previous House Speaker who bought his position but got voted in. Yeah, so it's very interesting what they're doing here. And this guy is Mashadani. He's the deputy House Speaker, first deputy House Speaker. I forget his name. He's the second deputy House Speaker. So yeah, Parliament is done. Friday, May 9th, and they come back sometime in June. And guess what else happens in June? Another holiday. It's another Eid al Adha, I think. Adha, and it's 5 days. I think June 6th through the 11th. Yep. So very interesting. Very interesting. You can't say this is boring. I know it's nerve-wracking. I know it's stressful, especially people have been here double-digit years. But it's gonna be so worth it. Just hang in there. Step away. I've had to put in the comment to someone. Step away if you're feeling frustrated and like it's not ever gonna happen. Take some time away. Come back in the middle of June. See where we are. All right, we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you for listening. Accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals and pay all your bills. If there's a like, subscribe, hit the bell, join, follow, all of that stuff wherever you are listening. Do that because I don't post regularly. And if you activate those tools, I guess, if all things work like they're supposed to, when I do update, you'll be notified. All right. Thank you again for listening. And until next time.